eat that nose bologna either, but you gave me the strength.
Sorry, you did coke?
Just to help get me off the booze. For a couple years before that, too. But those days are behind me. No alcohol, no cocaine, no pills.
Keith begs Sarah to take him back. 'Cause he's changed, baby. So, Steve, what won about this?
Oh, I just loved watching Beck make it all worse. Like, he probably would have been better off if he just didn't show up to make his impassioned speech. But that was the point, obviously. Like, they hit all those
Right.
beats to really hearken the genre of the romantic comedy, I guess. And yeah, just where it went and all the reveals and just the sheer fact that Ego was still kind of like half sold on this the whole time, as they would be in the movie without all this ridiculous
Right.
stuff being revealed. Like, that was all just so funny to me because, if you actually look at it with an analytical eye, these characters would not make the decisions that they're making. But that's, what makes it so funny.
Absolutely. This was fantastic. I love seeing Beck in these dramatic romantic roles. He just nails it. He sells it so well. But what was even more working with this was how brilliantly written it was.
Mhm.
They were piling on and on and on and on, but it never started to feel contrived. Like,
No.
all of those transitions in the conversation continued to feel pretty natural. Obviously there are things that no one would ever say, but it was a really smoothly written scene.
Yes.
And I just really, really respect that they were able to do that, because that's not easy.
Mhm.
And then those jokes just kept landing too. So, like, I loved it every time they would subvert our expectations and just take us on a new turn. So, I'm really into porn, doing 2 to 3 scenes, never with women. At every chance, there's a new turn it's taking. And man, I was having fun with this. Just a really, really well written sketch.
Yeah.
So, John, were you as into it as we were?
Yeah, I'm sick of going third because you guys are stealing all the good stuff here. This is a perfect sketch. Perfect in its writing, perfect in its editing, perfect in its performances, perfect in its production values. I was floored with how competent everything in it was. Katherine, you already touched on the writing. Sketch 101. If you're going to have a beat, don't let your next beat be less impactful than the previous one. Each one has to, move the game forward a little bit and be a little bit more insane, right? Like, you need to up the ante
Right.
each time.
Yeah, you can't
And that's
de-escalate.
exactly. That's exactly what this did. And it did it in subtle ways. Like, it didn't just go from 0 to 100, over 2 or 3 jokes. Each one was just so perfectly positioned in the back and forth dialogue to just continue to ramp up the energy, just continue to keep that heartbeat of the scene just pumping a little bit faster, a little bit faster. It just flawless, absolutely flawless. And like you said, Katherine, just the 1-2 punches of it all, where he's setting up a romantic cliche and then he's undercutting it by saying just a little too much. And the fact that she's even indulging this conversation at all, and he just keeps her on that string just enough to keep the door open and just give me one more chance. So let me say one more thing. I know I can do this. Just let me, make one more point. And then, he blows it again. Great. You can tell immediately the movie trope that they're goofing on. And it's just, it was flawless. I could go on, but there's really no point. I think we're all in agreement on this one. 2 enthusiastic thumbs up.
Love you.
He loves me.
Let's get into our best sketch then, Steve.
Best sketch. I think Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben should get it. There was just so much I loved about it. We've already talked about the Pete Davidson and Dave Chappelle interaction and all the brilliance that came from that. Yeah, I think that's the right choice to make.
It's not subjective at all. Steve has laid it down. Let's
That's the
move
right
on.
choice.
Yep.
I toyed a little bit with giving it to the cold open because, like I've said, that was the content I was craving. But I don't think that's fair because the episode lives on past this week, and it wasn't the strongest best sketch of the night. The best sketch of the night, with all due respect to Steve Finn, was "Take Me Back," the pre-tape with Keith.
That is the right answer, by the way.
I
So you know,
raved
Steve,
on
that's
about how
the correct answer.
Okay.
about how well written it was, and
I must have an
It
older
blew me
edition of
away.
the textbook then.
yeah, you need to update that. Yeah, so I'm giving it to "Take Me Back." That's that, and I assume John is on board with that.
Yeah, that has some of the most brilliantly written dialogue we've seen on SNL in a while. The craftsmanship astounded me with that one.
I wish I knew who wrote it, but I haven't seen anything yet. So
Yes, we normally do our homework, not this week. We're all, I think, a little hungover. We said so much about it. I don't want to, go down that same road, but it just when it ended, and they even had a fun little button, right? Like where you realize that, oh, this shtick that he does, it's actually enough to win her back. Like this has worked for
Right.
him before, and she actually is like, oh, he does love me.
And also, it was a lie. He still had all his drugs on him.
Right. Yes. Yes. So it just right up to the very last scene, he keeps undercutting himself, and there's just more layers to this onion of depravity, that he's revealing to her. So it was truly brilliant, and I think it'll go past a lot of people. Like they'll see something like this and they'll be like, "Yeah, that was fun," but I don't think they realize how hard it is to craft dialogue that sits with itself so cohesively. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing to see, and I love when SNL delivers a home run like that.
If you want to see our full sketch by sketch review, search for SNL Afterparty on Patreon or subscribestar.com.